All right guys, welcome back to our YouTube channel. Today we're going to talk about something that some of you guys have asked me before on a phone call and text messages, which is going to be talking about buying a brand new home in Boise and surrounding areas. So now when we're talking about new homes, we're talking about new construction homes, right? So some of these may be move-in ready, some of these may be turnkey, some of these may be custom builds where you have to plan it from scratch all the way up. Some of them may have semi-custom, which is floor plans already provided, and then maybe you throw in materials. So we're going to be talking about all that today, so make sure you guys stay tuned. We're going to be giving you guys a lot of insightful tips as far as new construction homes in the Boise and surrounding areas. All right guys, so if this is your first time tuning into our YouTube channel, make sure you guys press the subscribe and like the video, and as well as leave a comment where you're watching from. We'd love to know where you guys are tuning in from, as well as making sure you turn on the bell so you get notified when we drop more amazing videos just like this about the beautiful state of Idaho. So today's video, we are going to be solely focused on purchasing a new construction home in the Boise area. Now, most of this is going to be relevant to areas around Boise as well. So these are just previous experiences that we've had as far as helping clients relocating or purchasing a brand new construction home within the Boise areas. So my goal is to leave you guys with 5 things that you need to know as far as purchasing a new construction home in the Boise area. So kicking it off with number 1, everything is negotiable when you're getting ready to put in an offer on a new construction home. The most important thing to remember is that everything is negotiable. No matter what the listing agent says, no matter what the builder says, if they're gonna sit there and tell you, hey, price isn't negotiable, or hey, seller's concessions, which if you don't know what seller's concessions is, that is money that you can use towards upgrades within the home, towards closing costs getting covered, towards interest rate buy downs, which are super important in a market where interest rates are just substantially high right now. And you just wanna make sure that you have the right real estate agent, which we're going to be talking about those things later in the video as well. But it's just very important to make sure that you know you can always negotiate, and I recommend you negotiate the crap out of everything, right? Now, there's going to be realistic things that can happen, and there's going to be unrealistic things. So typically when we're helping you guys, I like to be very stern as far as, hey, this is typically what I see. This is the usual, right? Just remember that there's nothing that is necessarily impossible to make happen. Now, within reason, right? Obviously, don't come in and think you're gonna buy a $1.8 million home for $900K, right? It's just not gonna happen. But what we can do is negotiate and make sure that we try to fight for you beyond what typical agents will fight for, right? So that is gonna be tip number 1 when purchasing a new construction home. Tip number 2, and before we dive into tip number 2, you guys probably wanna know who's telling you and why am I giving you guys advice? Well, I am a licensed real estate agent, and not just a licensed real estate agent, but I'm also a negotiation certified expert, as well as a military relocation professional expert as well within the state of Idaho. So here's what you're gonna see is going to be my personal information. You're going to see my personal cell phone number as well as email pop up on the screen right now. Please don't hesitate to give me a call, text, email, or even just comment below that you're looking to get some assistance, and I'm more than happy to help you guys. Now, going back to the video, here's tip number 2. Now, this is something that a lot of people don't talk about, but do not go directly and work through the builder's agents or builder's representatives, because here's the thing. Their job, their number 1 priority is to represent the builder. A lot of people hear that and they're like, oh, well, that makes sense, but they can also represent me as a buyer, right? Yes, but here's the thing. Their goal isn't to negotiate or push you to negotiate on their behalf, right? That's why it's highly recommended you reach out to me, so that way we can take it a step further and represent you to the best of our ability, as far as, hey, you guys want seller's concessions? Awesome, I'm not gonna knock you. Let's try to get you guys more, right? Now, some builders concessions, you're gonna see them offering $20,000 and you're gonna think, oh, well, that's it, right? Because that's what they're offering. No, absolutely not. Remember, tip number 1 was that everything is negotiable. So just because they're offering something, that's not necessarily all they're willing to give. And that's why it's important not to work with the builder directly, because then they're going to tell you, hey, that's all they're willing to offer, and you won't be able to negotiate more or do anything of that nature. So now hopefully you kind of get a better idea as far as why you shouldn't work with them directly and why you shouldn't register your information. Or if you do register your information, just let them know that, hey, I do have a real estate agent that I would like to work with moving forward, that with a proven track record of negotiations and making sure that they're going to be representing you to the capability that you should be represented. So with that being said, now we're going to get into tip number 3. Now, tip number 3, and this is super important, is that most builders actually compensate you having a real estate agent. So 9 times out of 10, now with things switching up a little bit with the legal matters, there may be different things. It does depend on the builder and how they compensate, but most builders compensate you to get a buyer's agent to represent you, so you don't typically have to pay a real estate agent out of pocket when you do go through a new builder, which is absolutely amazing, right? So some of the most expensive upfront costs is sometimes real estate agents, right? So when you have a real estate agent that can be compensated by the builder, sometimes going new construction may be the best route for you and your family, or you as an individual, to save you guys that much more money to be able to put more down, or maybe to even be able to upgrade to certain things, or maybe you have certain ideas you already have in place that you would like to pursue. So that's also a huge bonus as far as going with the new construction. Make sure you reach out to me so we can make sure that we understand what that builder is offering as far as compensation, concessions, all those good things. Now, the next thing that is super important is that a lot of new builders have different finishes. Now, when I say different finishes, this is what I'm talking. I'm talking more so to the aspect as far as what is included with the purchase. Not every builder is the same. Some builders have nicer finishes and some builders have lower end finishes. But what's more important is also knowing what finishes you're going to have to pay for out of pocket. For example, one super important thing that may be very important if you have a dog or a pet, for example, is going to be, do they actually finish and put sod in the backyard, or do they just hydro seed it? Now, depending on your situation, it may not matter to you, right? If you have just a bunch of grass seeds in the back and it's growing over the next year or two until it finally is fully grown and you can be able to use it without getting mud everywhere. Or if you do have a pet, maybe it's super important and crucial that you know, hey, there is going to be sod, so that you can allow your pets to go outside, pee and poop and do what they need to do as far as handling their business, so that when they do come back inside, you don't have to wipe their paws with the towels, or make sure the house doesn't get messy every time they come inside, or maybe you have to walk them for 5 minutes every single time they need to go outside and use the restroom. So things like that really matter. Not only that, but some builders also may not build a fence, so you may have to come out of pocket to put a fence up, and some of them may have timelines of how long you have to do that. So it's just very important to know what type of finishes come with the home and are included, or what type of finishes or final things you're going to be responsible to get done. So with that being said, that is going to be another huge tip to make sure you consider when purchasing a new construction home. All right, so the next thing we're going to talk about is going to be the type of home or the type of new construction you're purchasing. So this is super important to know, because sometimes you're going to be purchasing either a move-in ready home, which are basically homes that may be ready within the next 30 to 60 days. It may just have to be painted. You may have the blue tape inspection, which we'll talk about that next. And we're also going to be talking about some of the benefits of buying a new home. But those move-in homes, they're usually ready to be turnkey and you can prepare to move in sooner than later, right? Another type of new construction home is going to be a semi-custom build. Now, the semi-custom homes may be homes that are already decided as far as floor plans or what type of home is going to be built on certain lots, or maybe you even could pick a lot or select a home with a certain type of blueprints that they will allow on that lot. And from there, you'll also be able to schedule appointments as far as design studios and things, and pick the color of the flooring, pick the type of bathroom tile, and pick the type of light fixtures and sink fixtures and all those different things that may really make it feel that much more like home to you, which we've had multiple clients do that, and it's absolutely stunning, some of the homes that we've seen as far as what they decided as far as finishes. I think my personal favorite one is, we had one that we helped build a home in Star, and they went with the all black bathroom, and it was probably one of the coolest bathrooms I have ever seen as far as what they picked out in the design studio. And that one was built by Toll Brothers. So some of the popular Toll Brothers in the area is going to be Boise Hunter Homes, Toll Brothers, CBH is a really popular one, and then we also have a couple of other ones like Tresidio and all those companies as well. So depending on what you're wanting to spend on a home, that could all factor what type of builders you'll be able to work with, or what type of factors we're going to recommend you check out to make sure that they fit what you're looking to do with it. But coming back to the semi-custom homes, so those may be a good fit for someone that's just like, hey, I kind of don't want to go through the pain of working with a brand new construction home and planning it from the ground all the way up, and that could be a lot easier as far as peace of mind and things of that nature. Now, finally, you have the land and home purchase, which is going to be where you purchase a plot of land. You want to make sure it's zoned for residential occupancy and things of that nature. And then you also build a home on it, where we would put you in contact with one of our builders, and you can literally plan it from the ground all the way up, right? So that's a little more time consuming. That typically takes anywhere between 1 to 2 years, depending on what you would like to do as far as building a home and finding the land and things of that nature. So that's going to be a much more extended process, because we're going to be getting in very deep into the nitty and gritty as far as everything from blueprints to how the house is laid out, to type of things that are going to go in. So there's just a lot more steps as far as finding land and building a home on top of it, but it's all doable. So these are going to be the 3 types of new construction homes that you can move forward with in the city of Boise and surrounding areas. All right guys, now another tip, and this is super important because depending on the type of builder, it may vary as far as the amount of earnest money that you put down. Now, for those of you that may not know what earnest money is basically kind of like a promise ring or a down payment of good faith, showing that you are committed to purchasing the home. Now, different builders require different things. There's some builders that are going to require 1% earnest money. So if your purchase price is $1 million, your earnest money deposit would be $10,000 down with the offer of the property, or depending on other builders. So I know there's some builders that even ask for 4 or 6%, right? So if you do a 6% earnest money deposit with a $1 million property, you're going to be looking at a $60,000 earnest money deposit down. So that's all different things that may factor as far as what the builder is requesting. We just want to make sure that you're aware of what's going to be required of you. So it's very important to read through the builder's documents as far as their contracts and what they require on their offers and things of that nature before moving forward with placing an offer or even looking at the homes to make sure it's a good fit for you. One last thing I want to give you guys a tip on is going to be, don't rush the process, right? Finding a home in Boise, Idaho can kind of be a little nerve-wracking, but here's the thing. Take your time, find the home you really love. Now, if you're a real estate agent, if it's not me, for whatever reason you made a bad decision on picking who's going to represent you, isn't representing you, or is pushing you into a certain construction home or new construction home or something of that nature, they may be getting offered an incentive, and you just want to make sure that at the end of the day, they're representing you wholeheartedly for the genuine good of your well-being, and no personal agendas being pushed while trying to help you get into a home. So with that being said, there are so many amazing builders that I could talk about, but I would much rather have that conversation to make sure that we tailor who we're looking at or who we're visiting with or which homes we're touring with the right fit for you. So make sure you guys reach out. What I'm going to do is I'm going to have my phone number and email pop up one more time and just reiterate, I am a licensed real estate agent in the state of Idaho and ranked in the top 1% across the country. So as much as I love making these videos for you guys, I also would love to help you guys with your home buying needs. So like I said, there's my phone number, there's my email. Make sure you guys give me a call, give me a text, or even shoot me an email, and I would be more than glad to help you guys with this process. And if you didn't already figure out that this is the best YouTube channel, don't forget to press the subscribe button. Make sure you guys leave a comment if you didn't already about what additional information you would like or how I can help you guys with your home search. And also make sure you guys press the bell at the top of the screen so that you can get notified for more videos just like this. And with that being said, love you guys. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.